This video, in contrast to the philosophy video that I made recently, is based on religion and medical ethics. And now, just before I start, I would like to say to those of you that don't have a revision guide, you really need to get one. They are so helpful for revision, and one very good revision guide that I'm using quite a bit to make these videos actually is this guide here, and it is just brilliant. Now you'll notice here it says the Philosophy and Applied Ethics for OCR-B. Now I'm talking directly to the students of Glyn School here, so if you're not in Glyn School then just don't listen for a bit, but our exam board isn't OCR-B anymore. There's a few things in here that you don't need to know, but all the things that you do need to know are covered in here. I've got the ISBN number for you there. This is now for anyone, no matter what school you're in. That's the ISBN number there. If you want to get this book, which I advise you do, then just pause here and note that down. Okay, let's start. The Sanctity of Life. This is a very important thing indeed. You need to know this. Okay, and the Sanctity of Life is just like, it's the view that life is a holy gift from God. We've got here where God is actually a famous painting of where God is giving that life to Adam. There's a definition there of the Sanctity of Life for you. It is the view that life is holy and a gift from God. Now you've got some Christians believe about life that each person, not an animal, point out, each person has a soul which lives on after death. Now this bit about here about animals not having a soul, that's going to pop up again in a future slide in this video, and we're going to talk about whether or not animals might actually have a soul, but this is what the Bible teaches. Okay, the Bible teaches that animals don't have a soul. Some Christians also believe that the soul is judged by God on whether or not it will go to heaven or hell. And another teaching of the Bible here is that God plans each human life. Now abortion is a Christian attitude to abortion. In case you don't know, this is where a pregnant mother doesn't actually want to have a baby, so she terminates, she ends the baby's life while it's still in her womb before she has the baby. Now Roman Catholics, we're going to focus on them quite a bit throughout this video, but they believe that life begins at the moment of conception. This is where the sperm and egg cell meet and a fertilised egg is formed. They believe that this is where life starts. So they feel that abortion is wrong because you're essentially terminating a life, which is considered a murder, which goes against the 10 Commandments of you shall not murder. However, if the abortion is needed to save the mother's life, such as in the case of an ectopic pregnancy, which is a very nasty case indeed, I've got a picture of it here. This is where an ectopic pregnancy is where the embryo doesn't go all the way around. It doesn't go all the way around here and grow in the womb. It goes all the way around and stops and starts to grow in the fallopian tubes. This can be accepted through the Doctrine of Double Effect. This you need to know. The Doctrine of Double Effect is if doing something morally good has a morally bad side effect, it is the right thing to do it, provided that the bad side effect was not intended. In this case, the bad side effect that's not intended is the ending of the embryo's life. The thing that is intended here is to save the mother's life. Let's do a couple of other examples here. Okay, we've got the Church of England Church of England Christians, who they also oppose abortion, but they recognise and appreciate certain situations where abortion would be okay, it would be morally accepted. This might be through the rather unfortunate case of the child being a result of sexual abuse upon the mother, or where the child is not guaranteed to not have a very good quality of life. It might have a severe medical disability or something. The Methodist Church, they also claim that abortion, they have a view of their own where abortion is always an evil, but they understand, again, similar to the Church of England, that there can be situations where it might be accepted, but at the end of the day, it's always an evil, and the only circumstances where you were likely to even have a go at it with Methodist Church would be when it is the lesser of two evils. So it's still evil, but it's the lesser of two evils. We've got Christian attitudes to fertility treatment here. Fertility treatment would be where you may not be able to produce children and you need certain medical treatment to help you become fertile, but become able to have children. Now, a key person here, we don't find out her last name I don't think, but Hannah, she's a figure in the Old Testament, and God had closed her womb. She's a good person to talk about for your evidence in your exam, and this would suggest in Christianity that God doesn't, that if you are a woman who can't have children, then God has chosen for this to happen. So to have fertility treatment and therefore to go ahead and have children will be a sin because it goes against what God wants. A few examples here of fertility treatment. You'll learn about these in biology, in GCSE biology. I can't guarantee if you will learn that actually, but if it's AQA GCSE biology, you definitely will learn about IVF, which is to get the sperm and egg cell outside of the mother's uterus or womb even, and fertilise them outside the woman's body and then implant them back in. Again, Roman Catholics, so we'll focus on them a bit. This is it. Life begins at conception in their view, so the spare embryos in IVF that are thrown away is an issue because you get like a certain amount of embryos and you in IVF, and sorry, I should point out now, this stands for in vitro fertilization, so this is making a woman fertile outside of her womb. You have a group, an accumulation of embryos, and only certain ones are implanted back into the mother's uterus or womb, so the spare ones that in the Roman Catholics view have a life that are now being thrown away. Well, that's a bit of an issue. They also believe that having a baby is not actually a God-given right, but it is more of a divine gift, so we really should respect that in the view of the Roman Catholics. And aid, which is like to get like a sperm donor or something, is wrong in the view of the Roman Catholics because introducing a third party into the relationship of a partnership is apparently in their view a form of adultery. We've also just got, in general, some Christians do however feel that fertility treatment is okay, as it just brings so many happiness to the people that can't have children. Now, cloning. Cloning is how do I say? It's making a duplicate or an exact copy of something else that you already had. Now, Roman Catholics, they feel that cloning often separates the stem cells of an embryo, subsequently involving the destruction of many fertilized eggs. Now, if you don't know what a stem cell is, it's just a little diagram here for you. You've got the sperm cell and you've got the egg cell. They join together to form a fertilized cell, fertilized egg, which is called a zygote. You don't need to know that. But then through a little process called mitosis, which you'll learn about in biology, hopefully, at the end of your course, this egg now divides. This fertilized egg, the zygote, divides up, and each one of these divided new cells almost are a stem cell. I've highlighted one of them here. Now, in cloning, you'd use certain stem cells. Say if I was to use this one here that I've highlighted for cloning, then these last three here, they're not needed and will get thrown away. Now, again, in Roman Catholics' view, these three that I've just thrown away have a life, and so again that raises a bit of an issue there. But also some of these stem cells are reprogrammed through something called therapeutic cloning, which an example of that would some kid at my school, according to one of my science teachers, said that, he got his finger cut off on a stool. I think he got trodden on or something when he was sitting on the stool or something. But he lost the top of his finger, and doctors now have been able to put stem cells, scatter a few stem cells on top of that half finger almost, and those stem cells, in result of that, you'll learn a lot more in biology about how stem cells are able to do this, but they then were able to become the rest of that finger. His finger then could grow back via stem cells, and Christians feel that this is unnatural and against the will of God, because these cells are not actually in nature designed, well, they're not designed for anything actually, that's why they can be reprogrammed, but the idea of these cells is that they're meant to become a baby, not the top of someone's finger. You've also got Christian attitude to suicide. Again, the Sanctity of Life comes into this. This is why it's very important. It comes across the whole topic. But remember, this is the view that life is a gift from God and it's holy. Suicide, to many people, is considered a form of murder. One of the 10 Commandments is, "You shall not murder." So that's not very good if you do commit suicide in Christianity. It's also considered a moral sin against the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is briefly explained in a philosophy video that I've made recently. It's called Beliefs About Deity, if you want to check that out. But a moral sin is an unforgivable sin. Basically, if you commit a moral sin, one of them being murder, your hopes of getting into heaven are gone. Basically, you're going to hell. Basically, a different attitude that Christians have to suicide, however, it will be through emotional support, and this can be seen through an organisation called the Samaritans, set up by Chad Varra, I believe that's pronounced, Chad Varra. But he was a Church of England vicar who set up the organisation, and they, to quote the book that I've got here, where is it? Oh, there. To quote this book, behind now. Ooh. So yeah, sorry. To quote that book, the organisation provides confidential emotional support for anyone needing it, including those who may be contemplating suicide. And euthanasia. Now, how do I explain euthanasia? That is introducing someone else to assist you in suicide. It's not assisted suicide, there is a difference, but again, you'll learn about all the differences of these. I'm pushed for time here, so I don't have a lot to tell you about what euthanasia is. But basically, if, say, you were paralysed and you wanted to commit suicide, you don't have the ability to pick up the drug and kill yourself with it. You need someone else to hand it to you and put it down your throat, and that would be a form of euthanasia. Now, Roman Catholics are totally opposed to euthanasia, because in their view anything that brings out death is murder, and the Anglican Church have a similar view to the Roman Catholics in that they allow, in that they are also rather opposed to it, because in their opinion euthanasia could be a form of murder. But they feel that if you're gonna go through with euthanasia, then to allow someone to die must be in the most loving form of agape. Agape is a very, very loving act indeed, and so yeah, if you're going to go through with euthanasia, then you can't, I don't know how to put it, you can't do it aggressively or anything. You have to take care, you have to almost like put them out of their misery kind of thing. Other attitudes to euthanasia would be supporting of a hospice in Christianity, and an example of this, a good person to talk about, when it comes to hospices would be I don't know how to pronounce that, Mr. Saunders here, who was the first person to found the modern hospice that we know of today, called St. Christopher's, which is in London. Final thing here, and then we're done for this video. Christian beliefs about the use of animals in medical research. The Holy Bible comes up quite a bit in this, because the teachings of this are quite key in how we treat animals. And this teaches that humans have a role of stewardship, which is like to take care of things over the earth. And given that animals are on the earth, this stewardship over the earth includes stewardship of animals. But we also have the Bible teaching that animals don't actually have a soul, so they do not have this. In Christianity, they claim that Christians claim that humans have like a personal connection to God, and animals don't have this, because that connection comes from the soul. Animals don't have a soul, so they don't have the personal connection to God like we apparently do, and therefore God will not consider it a sin if we use animals for our own will. But then came along this chap here, St. Francis of Assisi, and he ruined this argument completely by suggesting that animals do actually have a soul. Just a little thing here. This isn't really about medical research, so actually, sorry, hold on. Going back to St. Francis of Assisi, you may want to talk about him in an argument question in E question here. So, like, where you come around to talking about your holes in the argument about animals having souls or not, you could say the holes in the argument here are that someone such as St. Francis of Assisi, who is a Christian, would say that animals do have a soul. Right. This here is oh God, who is it? Oh, sorry, Saint Peter, and he. This isn't really to do with medical research, but when you can now question Christians' respect upon animals, you can say, well, hold on, how can they eat meat? How can they have slaughtered animals put to their plates almost? And he apparently had a vision. Hold on, I've got it written down here somewhere. Yeah, okay, he had a vision that a sheet of food full of animals descended from heaven. So that would imply that in Christianity, going by his vision, that God put the animals on our planet for us to eat. When you're in this exam, just a few key things I've put here that you may want to talk about when it comes to animals in medical research is stewardship, the idea that we have to take care of things. The fact that animals don't have a soul according to the Bible, okay, remember, because St. Francis of Assisi said that animals do have a soul. It's according to the Bible that animals do not have souls. And agape, and that's to do the most loving act you can. And this contradicts with tests in medical research such as the Dre's test and LD50, etc. LD50 is a very horrible test indeed. This stands for lethal dose 50, and being a lethal dose, this is the test to find out what dose of a medicine would kill you. And they would do this by, I don't know, let's just say paracetamol or something, but they would get like an animal, maybe a rabbit, and they'd test the concentration of paracetamol until it kills the rabbit, so that we know what is a dangerous and what is an overdose on paracetamol for us. So they may give it, I don't know, 2 pills of paracetamol, the rabbit's okay, give it more, it's okay, give it more, okay, now it's starting to get ill, give it more, until it dies. The intention of testing LD50 is to kill the animal, to find out what is the lethal dose of that medical substance. Okay, that's me done, I believe. Yeah, right, that's me done. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Goodbye.